I've seen loads of YouTube videos telling me that the Stargate revival won't be a revival. It's going to be a hard reboot, a remake. What are we to believe? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV movie channel. If you are a regular SciTrek, you'll know that I talk about Stargate quite a lot, and I've actually been telling you for a year that this is not going to be a remake or a hard reboot. That even though the hard reboot conversations have been had, that there are people at MGM that believe a hard reboot is the way to go. That actually even MGM have spoken to Roland Emmerich and Dave Devlin about maybe redoing their original plan for a trilogy. But that even Roland Emmerich told us himself that Amazon and MGM know that the TV audience are what matters. And therefore, we can infer from that that there will be no remake. So why are there so many people on YouTube saying that there will be? So many YouTube channels telling everyone that there's going to be a remake. Well, it's because they read the Deadline report a couple of weeks ago. Now, Deadline reported that there's going to be a Stargate movie, that there's going to be a Robocop movie and a couple of other things as well coming out of MGM over the next year to 18 months. That they're working on this project right now, and that even though this announcement will not have been a surprise to anybody that watches SciTrek, that did surprise a lot of other people. So they did their little videos trying to get clicks, and a lot of them believed from that report that it was going to be a remake of the original Stargate. But why would they infer that? Well, the way Deadline reported it, they didn't really say either way. They just sort of said, we believe it's probably going to be a movie. So people have assumed, because, well, they don't watch this channel maybe, and they've assumed that would be a remake. Why? Because, well, that's what Hollywood always does. After this bigger gap between the old series ending and, the new franchise starting hopefully next year, the normal way of doing that is a remake, is a complete hard reboot. But I don't think that's really where we're at the moment. The success of things like the new Quantum Leap series did pretty well. Picard Season 3 and lots of other sort of revivals have really paved the way that actually the executives can be a little bit braver when it comes to Stargate. They can do a Star Trek The Next Generation style hybrid reboot. And I've been told for a very long time that's what Amazon are pushing for. That Amazon know they cannot afford to have a bunch of negativity about the Stargate project being thrown around YouTube before the show even gets filmed. I've mentioned it to you guys a couple of times that there's this Ring of Power problem, that YouTube went crazy over Rings of Power and it brought so much negativity into the show that it really affected viewing figures. Now, they don't want the same again because they know how well loved a franchise like Stargate is. They also look at Star Trek and how much negativity has been aimed at Alex Kurtzman. They'd quite like to avoid some of that as well. So, very early on, my sources were telling me that Amazon have said very clearly this must be a continuation. But I mentioned hybrid reboot. What do I mean by that? Well, it has been nearly 20 years since Stargate left our screens. There has been a big gap, and there will be new creators coming in to make the series and hopefully the movie. Those creators are going to want to bring in some of their own ideas. They're going to want some fresh blood. They may want to take the series in a slightly different direction. Now, that is going to scare some of you, but I really don't want you to be too afraid. Because as long as they get the right team in, and hopefully that will be Mark Fergus of the Penguin and the Parker team, the guys that brought us The Expanse, a person that we happen to know from a couple of leaked meetings that we've discussed in the past, that he is a huge Stargate fan, then I think this can go the right way. And I think that them bringing their own ideas and not necessarily sticking very strictly to canon could be a good thing for the show overall. I have talked to you in the past about how there are a few problems with bringing this show back. That really, by the end of SG1, the Tauri were so powerful that you have to wonder what that show is going to look like now another 20 years has gone by. We do still want a show that feels like Stargate, not a futuristic, completely unrealistic sci-fi show that perhaps we might be in danger of getting, something more like Star Trek. So allowing the new creators a little bit of freedom might be a very good way of avoiding some of those landmines. Now, is there still any possibility of a hard reboot? I'm afraid until the final decision has been made, and until we actually start seeing some names like Amanda Tapping being attached to this, then I will always be slightly afraid of the hard reboot. Now, does that mean that show will be a disaster? Does it mean I won't watch it? Well, it would still be a show, at very least, inspired by my favourite show. So I will still give it a chance, but he'll be with a heavy heart. But honestly, if I was a betting man, and honestly, based on everything I've been told by whistleblowers and insiders for the last 12 months, that is not the plan. They want to do a revival. They want to get some of that nostalgia because, I mean, Picard Season 3 showed really how a series that, if I'm honest, isn't very good, still was incredibly popular, and I still jumped around when the Enterprise D came out of the hangar, even though I completely expected it, just based on the nostalgia. The audience and the Stargaters will actually forgive an awful lot if they give us enough nostalgia to enjoy. And if nothing else, I think that's one reason why they'll do it. So, continuation, a revival. That's what we're currently looking at. Now, unless something massively changes or something goes horribly wrong, that's what we can look forward to. So if you come across a post or a YouTube video saying this is going to be a hard reboot, don't panic. Just remember what I've been telling you for over a year and just trust and hope that they do it justice. But guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think. Have you seen any of the videos I'm talking about, or memes or comments? Do you actually believe for a second Amazon is stupid enough to do a hard reboot when so many of the actors are still available and when the show has actually not been off our screens that long? I hope they're not. But get into the comments and tell me what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out. And you can also go over to patreon.com/SciTrek, where for a small contribution each month that really supports the channel, you get to see most of our videos first. And you can even do a 7-day free trial. So it's free for a bit, at least. As always, guys, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.